middle of the Andes Mountains, our plane crashed. We were dead men walking. Dead men walking. And I said, I don't want to die. I don't want to die here. I want to go back to my father. I want to go back to my life.
An airplane crashed on a flight from Montevideo, Uruguay to Santiago, Chile.
My life changed in a second.
We were 29 guys alive. So you're alone in the middle of the Andes, no food, nothing, condemned to die.
I don't want to die. The only thing we have the body of our friends.
We decided to eat. That was the only way to honor life, to stay alive, to fight against death.
This group survived one of the most unsurvivable stories in the history of the human being. This is the All Christians Rugby team 1972, about 2 weeks before we climbed into that airplane. There's me. I was 22 years old. This is some of the great players of this team who were on that flight. Roberto Canessa, the wing. Panchito, my brother in life, the other wing on the other side. Arturo Nogueira, fantastic guy. You know, Alexis Uni, Guido Magri, Marcelo Pérez del Castillo, the captain, Tintin, Roy Harley. It's sad in a way to look at this picture and know that some of my friends are lying in the Andes now, no? Dead, and it could have been me. But among the survivors, everybody has their own story. The trip to Chile from the All Christians Rugby Club was like a prize at the end of the season that the captain, Marcelo Pérez, had organized for the team to play against the Chilean rugby champions. So we chartered an Air Force plane because it was cheaper than flying commercially. Most of the team made it.
My name is Roy Harley. I was 20 years old. I love playing rugby. I was really big and strong. I was very excited. And it was my first time going in a commercial plane to another country. It's incredible.
In 1972, I was 25. I was not playing rugby at that time, but my friend Marcelo, he was the captain of the team. We were always doing everything together. He asked me to help him to get as many people as possible so the trip will be full. I call my cousin Fito Strauch.
Yo soy Adolfo Strauch, tenía 24 y me llamaban Fito, era mi sobrenombre. El viaje era muy barato, era una risa el costo, que yo creo que eran $37 o $40 cada uno, era todo el pasaje.
And who else? Coche, he has a very special personality, and he makes us laugh many times.
Action. Action. Once again. 72, I was a student. And I was studying and working and having no time for fun. So when the Old Christians Club invited me to go with them, I was very, very happy.
My mother and my sister were fans of my rugby club, and because there were seats available 3 or 4 days before the trip, I asked them to come. I said, why don't you come with us to Chile? We'll spend a nice weekend over there. It's very cheap now in Santiago, and we'll come back on Monday. And they said, fantastic, fantastic, let's go.
Bueno, después Marcelo consiguió los 40 pasajeros, más 5 tripulantes. Quedamos los 45 para viajar. Los que no iban como rugbistas íbamos a pasarla bien y divertirnos.
My girlfriend, Soledad, took me to the airport in her car.
I walked up the stairs to make the last bye-bye, and I saw him.
When I was coming inside the plane, I turned back and saw her in the balcony of the airport and said goodbye to her.
And that was a photograph that stayed in me till today. That bye-bye. We were thinking of marrying the next year. I was very sad that he had to go to Chile. I thought that I was going to miss him, but they were only 4 or 5 days.
You can imagine, no? Young guys going to Chile to have fun. We're really very excited.
Obviously, you can imagine a rugby team is always fun. So we were anticipating all these things in Santiago. But the plane had to stop in Mendoza because the weather was not very good. We spent one night there, and we took off the next day. I was thinking, in 1 hour we will be in Santiago, everything will start, the fun will start. Flying over the Andes is a very beautiful thing, very beautiful thing. The mountains are majestic, they were snowed in. It was the year with more snowfall in the last 50 years, so it was completely white, beautiful.
I remember so clear the impression, because at that time it was not very common to fly, no? And it was very, very emotional, just getting close to the Andes, the huge mountains, all covered with snow and all the black peaks.
That photo in the plane was taken 30 minutes after takeoff. I am sitting there with Gustavo Nikolic, very close to me, and we were really, really very glad, very enjoying the trip, very nice. And then the big change.
I was sitting on the window, and my friend Panchito, he said, Nando, let's change. I want to look out from the window. And I said, okay, let's change. So he was sitting by the window, and I was sitting on the aisle seat when everything happened.
We felt that the plane was landing. We began landing in the middle of the Andes. The pilot thought that he was very close to Santiago, and he began landing.
They descend in the middle of the Andes in the Argentina side.
And then it began moving and jumping and everything, and we have two big jumps.
Because there were huge air pockets going down maybe 100 meters. And up again.
And we sit there. And came another huge pocket.
It's huge.
I thought this plane is going to crash.
And I started feeling that the mountains were too close, and I really started feeling very, very, very scared.
And my best friend Panchito, he hits me and said, Nando, look. And I looked about 100 yards away from the airplane. I saw this black and white mountain going by, and I thought, we cannot fly that close to the mountains.
And then I heard from the cockpit that they shout, give me power, give me power. And the plane began to point up.
I heard the noise of the engines pitching up in revs, gaining power, and this horrible metallic sound of the impact. And then for me, instantly, everything went black.
We all thought, well, that's the end. But the plane continued moving.
It was sliding in the mountain. It just doesn't stop.
Wind was coming inside. I shut my eyes and never opened once again.
We didn't understand what's going on.
And we say we are going to crash again the mountain and again a rock.
And in that precise moment, a great crash.
And at last, it stopped.
It's incredible how your life can change in 1 second.
I opened my eyes, and in that precise moment, a lot of shouts and asking for help.
My friends all around, guys with blood and everything, shouting.
The passenger's cabin was full of bodies.
When I opened my eyes in the front seat, it was Nando's mother, and she was there, very close to my eyes.
Everything was a great chaos.
I remember I said, Fito, what happened? And Fito said, we crashed in the Andes.
Pasé por entre la gente, entre los fierros y paso el piso del avión. Me entierro en la nieve casi hasta la cintura. Y entonces que me vino un shock de frío, estaba en mangas de camisa y no sé, la temperatura supongo que estaría bajo cero.
It was just like that, with a shirt. With 30 centigrades below zero. At that altitude, this was really difficult. I started having lack of air, of oxygen.
The picture you are looking at, open. And you look all around you and was higher, 1,000 meters of snowy mountains. So I said, oh, this is quite different. We are in trouble now. I didn't know what to do, but everybody was shouting inside the plane, and we returned to help those who had injuries.
Me recuerdo Canessa y Servino, los dos estudiantes de medicina, que fueron heroicos en esos primeros momentos, ayudando a todos, haciendo un desgaste brutal.
Nando, we thought he was dead. And his body remains a little bit outside the fuselage, with the head over the snow. It was impossible to believe that it was reality, what we were living.
I am alive. Why I'm still alive? A plane 500 kilometers per hour crash against the mountain, and I'm still alive. What happened here? I don't know what is going on.
Luckily, my friend Marcelo, he was the captain of the team and immediately became the leader of the group.
Entonces lo veo a Marcelo, el capitán, abriendo valijas que habían quedado, repartiéndonos algún suéter, alguna camisa y tirándonos.
And he started trying to organize that terrible mess, making some place to spend the night, trying to close the open side of the fuselage with some luggage.
And then when the night came over us, freezing cold,
it was very, very cold, so we tried to go all the guys inside the plane.
and we couldn't see anything. It was dark. But you heard people crying and shouting and asking for help.
Initially, you try to help the people that are worst injured. It's impossible. It's impossible. And the only way to maintain you warm, it was being very close with another guy.
No se duerma, por miedo que te durmieras y te congelaba, porque la diferencia de temperatura era brutal.
A night that ours seems to be years.
We passed all the night with the dead people, the damaged people. I always say that if hell exists, that was hell.
feel great happiness to be alive and see one next morning. I woke up alive once again when I surely should be a dead body. As other people during the night, they didn't shout anymore and they was dying.
Empezamos a ordenar el avión, a sacar a los muertos, con un trabajo horrible, porque el primer contacto con la altura te sentís medio apunado. Me acuerdo, tuvimos que hacer un esfuerzo grande. Los juntamos todos los muertos. Los tapamos un poquito con nieve, como una especie de entierro, digamos. Y nos pusimos a esperar el rescate.
Because it was a modern plane, we knew that it was a modern equipment. We were sure that they knew where we were and they were coming for us.
Pusimos valijas y bultos para que se viera mejor si pasaba un avión. Le hicimos una SOS, un SOS en la nieve pisando para que se viera desde lejos.
So we would say that if the plane crashed here in the middle of the Andes, immediately people are coming to help us.
I think that for the previous day before I woke up, I could think and say, I'm dead. This is death. I'm dead. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what had happened, but I knew that I was dead on an incredible black space. I started to come out of that blackness like, a diver going up into the surface. I opened my eyes and I didn't know where I was, but everything was broken. And beautiful faces, I remember beautiful faces close to me, speaking to me, saying, Nando, are you okay? Nando, the plane crashed. Nando, we crashed. The plane crashed. And they said, Nando, your mother is dead. Panchito is dead. Guido is dead. Hadn't I been in the cold and my head had been lying on the snow, I would have been dead. Nature saved me because nature did what science does now. They put a lot of cold on your head so that the swollen brain can regain its form. So nature saved my life over there. And I said, where is Susie? Where is my sister? Where is Susie? She was with me here. And they told me she's very badly injured. She couldn't move. She couldn't move. She couldn't speak. I said, we crashed.
first days were very difficult, but we were always waiting the help from outside.
Marcelo organized the rationing. We have just some biscuits, some chocolates, some few bottles of wine and liquor, and that was all.
And remember, we were 29 guys alive, 29 guys alive. So Marcelo, the captain, gave a little bit of chocolate to every single person in the morning.
And a small cup of liquor or wine.
But soon we would have nothing left, absolutely nothing. And being there in the middle of the Andes Mountains, it's like being in the moon, in Venus, in Mars. It's like being stranded there. You can look all over and there's no sign of life whatsoever or any kind of food.
We must take decisions immediately and create everything. We have nothing, just our minds, our intelligence. We have no food, no water, no warm clothes. But the worst of all was the thirst, not having enough water.
There was no water. There was no water. People say, but here there's a lot of snow and ice. Yeah, there's a lot of snow and ice. How do you melt it? How do you melt it with that kind of temperature? It's impossible if you don't have any fire or anything. One thing is to eat snow, but you get blisters inside your mouth, in your tongue, and your lips crack. So to put ice and snow into that broken mouth, it's like a very big pain.
So we must find another way. And luckily, Fito, my cousin, he was the inventor because he had a very, very good and bright ideas.
Con las bandejas de los asientos logramos hacer unas máquinas de hacer agua. Doblábamos el pico de la bandeja, le ponían una botella abajo y con la nieve media flojita arriba, con eso se empezaba a derretir. Y entonces era una máquina de hacer agua muy buena.
It was a very good idea of Fito.
I found a very small radio, and I was studying engineering, but I didn't know anything of electronic. I make an antenna to try to increase the capacity of receiving radio transmissions from outside, and then we begin receiving radios from Chile, and all the radios that we heard were speaking about the crash in the Andes of the Uruguayan plane.
We say, okay, they have put men on the moon. Why can't they find us? Probably they are preparing a rescue mission and they will arrive soon.
We saw some planes flying over us twice, and we thought it was the planes that were searching for us.
I thought they saw us because they moved their wings. So we were very happy because rescue was coming because they saw us. And some boys went to the food, a bottle of wine, liquor, a little group ate it all. And we were very angry with those who eat it. If rescue doesn't come immediately, what are we going to eat? You eat it all, you bloody bastards, and forbid.
And well, and we wait and wait for the rescue that didn't come.
Nobody died of thirst. Nobody died cold because having very close bodies, warm bodies during the night. But we were going to die starving because we didn't have anything to eat, anything else.
I remember very well the last type of normal food that I had, which was one peanut. I had one chocolate-covered peanut was my food for 3 days. The first day, I ate the chocolate cover of the peanut in my mouth. Then I separated the peanut in halves, and in one day, chunk by chunk, slowly erasing every part of that half peanut, I ate half a peanut. And on the third day, I did the same with the other half of the peanut. And then there's absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing. Not knowing when you're going to eat again, it's an incredible fear. And you will never experience that kind of hunger, the anxiety of hunger, the depression of hunger, the fear of hunger, until your body starts to feed upon itself.
We start feeling very weak, and 2 or 3 more days we won't be able to walk or think, and to create and invent all that we need to.
We were dying. We were dying. We don't have more energy.
And then your brain looks around, and in our plane, we didn't have anything to eat, but there were leather suitcases, toothpaste, shoes, leather shoes. And we said, let's try it. Maybe it's food. Just put yourself into the mind of somebody that has to go to eat his shoes.
We tried to eat the luggage or the shoes, the belts. It was impossible, of course.
I remember Nando, he was with his sister. His sister was very bad damage. I remember he put the water in her mouth.
And I stayed with her. I stayed with her, I embraced her. The state of her injuries were absolutely devastating, I think, very, very bad. She couldn't do anything. She died in my arms, over there. I couldn't cry. I couldn't cry. And I said, Nando, what happened to you? Who are you? What? Your mother is dead. Your best friend is dead. Your sister just died, and you cannot cry. But I think that in a survival situation of this magnitude, everything that doesn't have to do with survival is erased from your brain. So I buried my mother and my sister with the help of my friends behind the fuselage over there. So you are alone in the middle of the Andes, no food, nothing, condemned to die. Sometimes hell looked like a more comfortable place, I can tell you. So after so many days without eating anything, I spoke with some friends. I don't want to die. I don't want to die here. I want to go back to my father. I want to go back to my life. And what are you going to do? We are going to die. I have to wait for the summer, and I will climb these mountains in the summer. But the summer is 2 months away, 2 or 3 months away. What are you going to do? I'm going to eat. What are you going to eat?
It was an idea that was in my head in the last few days, and I tried to reject it because it sounds so impossible and so difficult.
I think it was a decision not as easily to take as I did. We have proteins, we have a lot of things in the dead bodies of our friends, of the passengers, of the crew. And I know that everybody is thinking exactly the same.
And Fito, when he said to me, Eduardo, the only way we could get proteins and get out of here is getting the proteins of their bodies. When I listened to Fito talking about that, I said, well, I'm not getting crazy. I think it's the only way. We want to live, we are young, and it's the only way.
Some of the boys struggled a little bit more.
We were getting really very, very weak. So we tried to convince many of the other boys, including Marcelo, that they couldn't accept the idea.
Marcelo, el capitán, no podía aceptar la idea. No puedo ser, no, vamos a esperar, nos van a venir a rescatar. Marcelo, pero nos vamos a morir de hambre acá, ¿no? Nos vamos a debilitar cada vez más. Tenemos que tomar.
We thought that the Catholic religion would prohibit him to do that, and Marcelo felt very guilty because he organized all that trip. It was the only way. And we start saying that it was the most beautiful thing you could do for a friend, just giving him your body as food and as life, giving him life.
We make a pact between us. If I die, you can take my body. And if I die, you can do the same. And that made me decide to eat.
At last they accepted the idea, and we could start eating the bodies. It was so difficult to accept the decision and then to do it, going to the bodies and start cutting the flesh. No? So Roberto and Fito were the first ones.
Salto, digo, hay que hacerlo. Salí sin nada y encuentro una botella rota con un vidrio que estaba rota al costado del fuselaje. Bueno, entonces con eso avanzo al primer cuerpo. Corto. Y entonces yo para quitarle importancia, digo, es como comer jamón crudo sin sal. Entonces voy adentro del fuselaje y les digo, bueno, ya está hecho, el que quiera, puede probar.
My mind was very clear. Yes, I will do it. It's no problem. But when I start trying to eat, my mind and my body rejected.
When you cut up a piece and put it in your mouth doesn't open. And later on, when you put it in your mouth, your throat doesn't swallow.
And I remember that Vito and Daniel, my cousin, they helped me. No, come on, you must eat it. Otherwise you will get very, very weak. We're studying in very small pieces and start feeling a little bit better with the protein.
It was one of the last ones that ate human flesh. At the end, you eat a piece of frozen piece of meat without any taste.
I can assure you that having been there with us on that situation, you would have arrived to the same conclusion at the same moment, and you would have done exactly the same thing. The 11th day for all of us, the survivors, is a very important date.
We listened to the small radio every day to see if we could listen some news about the search.
And I was hearing the radio, and we received a radio from Uruguay, and he said, today all the search of the Uruguayan plane is finished. For us, it was a great shock.
So the search is being called off. So it's like being in front of a firing squad. Can you picture that moment? They thought there's no way anybody could have survived over there.
And that makes us very angry. I get very angry. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Bloody people. Why do you think we are dead? We are alive here.
I felt cramps in my stomach. I wanted to vomit. I was condemned to die. We were dead men walking. Dead men walking.
We decided to organize an expedition to look for help.
And we saw the tail.
We really felt death much closer.
They said, I'm dying under an avalanche. I'm dying under an avalanche.